Welcome back, clarifiers, to another day. Today's day 11 of 12. It's going to be Anthony's day. He should be joining us any moment now. It's 12:58. There he is. I'm waving to him. Okay, live with Anthony. Waiting for him to go live. Okay.
What's up? What's up?
Yo,
How's you doing?
yo! Man, I'm doing really well. It's a great day. Can I just say, if you're looking to encourage somebody who has diabetes, you should purchase this book once it goes live.
The Peppermint Path.
Yes, that's called The Peppermint Path. It's part of the See a Better Way series. So this particular one is to help people who have diabetes. Where is it? Yeah, it's the diabetes book. To help people encourage them.
It was a really good read. I will let people know. I got to actually read it before it became a book. It was a Google Docs. I remember reading. It was a really quick, short read. I read it in less than an hour, but it was really encouraging, and I really liked the overall moral and lessons that are encoded in such a short, sweet story. On top of the fact, this story has been hidden for like 30 years. So the fact that it's finally in paper, physical paper, is amazing. So definitely check it out if that's something you think you'd be interested in.
Yeah, I got to talk to the author today. We're setting up the next phase, the marketing end of things, and gave her the whole update, the idea, the concept. Yeah, she's excited. I'm excited, and I'm drafting a contract because this is going to be an official partnership.
Nice.
Step forward. I'm excited because I had a bunch of people read this book like yourself, and when I first read it, I was just like, it was very inspiring, encouraging to help you understand what diabetes is like if you get diagnosed, and then help people, the family members.
Juvenile diabetes, by the way, too. Juvenile, so it's like if you're at a young age.
Really great. So I'm excited. I've been on phone calls since 10 a.m. today. One phone call for the mayor's meetings, and then this the book, and then now here we are. And then I'm getting on another one after this.
Ooh.
A busy day today. Sorry, that was too long.
Very busy.
Long introduction, but yeah, great day. Yourself?
Doing good. Had a pretty slow day at work, and then I got back after unwinding. I managed to get this taped up with single pieces using your design, because it actually, I feel like I'll go with it for now. Keep it a little
So the one that
simple.
I did yesterday?
Yeah, the second one that you sent me.
Yeah.
Only thing is the bottom row all supposed to be introduced at once? Starting from left to right, because you did not number it.
Yeah, hold on a second. Hold on. Sorry, Tony. I had to get it to you. No, it's easier to just show it to you.
All you just have to describe is the bottom row just said first
Separate.
Before the.
Yes, it is.
So it's done first as a prequel. You could almost say.
Yep. It's you fold it up like this, right? And you start off like this. You're like, okay, that's step one. Step two, which is here's the premise of all success. This is what I want you to walk away with. Unless the 50,000-foot view is conscious mind, subconscious mind, and so that's the bottom part. That's the introduction, and then the rest is the actual lesson.
Okay. All right. That answers my question. Perfect.
Yep.
So I'm not going to fold it, and I drew it on a slightly bigger piece of paper than he uses, simply because I don't have a tripod in my camera. I'll show you my little setup right here. It's a book with a weighted crystal on it, so that way I can push it down like that. So I drew it a little bigger just so you guys can see the writing a bit. But let's start with the intro. Who we are. So my name is Anthony Desatnikov. I'm what I like to call a student of life, which is somebody who's constantly looking for patterns, connections, lessons, and everyday experiences and treats life like a school. So that's who I am at the core. What I do for work is I work for this custom home company, Bella Home Builders, Saratoga Springs, New York, during the day. And on the weekends, I just work on myself and building copper coils. So yeah, that's who I am.
Awesome. Well, my name is Alexei Katko, and I love helping people understand concepts much better. Kind of like this. Like this is a very intense concept, but once I can draw it out on a napkin, explain it easy to you, easy to somebody, that's what I strive to, is helping the students of life understand things better. And that's, some call it mentoring. I just love to do this because if I can help a person go on their way and understanding what they need to do without needing me to explain to them again, that's a success for me. And that's why I started clarifiers to help people learn. And specifically, our conversations are based on how to catch your programs and reprogram those lines of code in your mind that don't serve you, that hurt you. Yeah, that's what's up.
That is what's up. So, without further ado, I will flip my camera over. Alrighty, that should be nice right there. Alright, so we'll start off with what is the basic premise of success. So success, to be simplest way to draw it out.
Do not move your left hand right now. Do not move your left hand. Yes. So between your ring finger and your thumb is where I can see your stuff actually. Everything else is covered by content. There we go. Yep, like the comments.
Yeah,
Boom.
yeah, got it.
So between your
perfect.
yep, where your index
All right.
finger right now is the top, and the bottom of the page is perfect.
So where I'm drawing this line is the bottom,
Yep.
and then index, the top is like right there.
Yep, perfect.
All right, sweet. All right, so to start off, the basic premise of success is you have to know where you are, and then you need to know where you want to be. And these lines here represent all the different, wavelengths or levels before you get from where you are to where you want to be. So with that basic premise, we're going to look at how a thought, so we drew a little figure here, and you see through his head horizontally we have a line dividing it. So this circle, the line dividing it, is the basic image of the mind that we're going to use. So that's why I drew it like that. So the mind thinks of thought A. Thought A plus time equals that thought becoming a reality if the correct actions are taken. But that thought is generated by two basic parts of the mind, so the bottom and the top half, which are the conscious mind, which is responsible for the physical senses such as smell, sight, taste, sound, and touch, and the subconscious mind, which is responsible for things such as body functions, habits, walking, driving, things of that sort, like your heart rate, all of those self-regulatory systems in general. So what we're going to look at here is we're going to basically expand upon this little figure right here and what that actually means like in practical action. So over here we have our little stick figure guy. I'll do another line through his head to kind of keep that same going. So he's thinking, and that thinking results in thought A, as we'll call it right here. So thought A is a frequency, a vibration that he sends out into the universe, and we see these little lines directed, and those lines lead on to this section over here, where as you see, the first thing happens, which then leads to the second thing happening, which leads to the third thing happening, which leads to the fourth thing happening, which then leads to the fifth thing, and there's no real like sequential reason for the number 5, just that's what fit on there. And so this right here is what we call the experience. Now, after this whole process is done, then thought A can now become reality. It's not reality yet, but this process over here had to have occurred first in order for you to experience the necessary things for thought A to become a reality. Now, as you see over here, this whole process here, we'll refer to it in the future as just the experience. Now, the thing with the experience is, the experience generates emotions. And here's where things can get a little bit tricky. We as humans, our body is addicted to certain feelings. So what can happen is, we have this experience, which is really what it's supposed to do is to allow us to make our initial thought a reality. But this whole experience creates certain emotions. And those emotions can be viewed as negative, positive. We can give them different meanings depending on what we take from that or the meaning we derive from that situation. And we can get stuck in this loop where we just keep going, having similar experiences which make us feel the same emotions, and we just go back and forth. Now, when we get stuck in the emotions, what ends up happening is we typically blame the players. Who do we blame? Players. And players refers to other individuals who are in the stages of the experience, either step 2 or 3, someone you might have had an altercation with or something of that sort, argument. And the consequence of blaming other people equals the fact that we do not take authorship of the fact that we created that experience with our initial thought over here. And when we don't take authorship, the sad thing is we don't realize the brilliance of our mind's ability to create our experiences in reality. Because it was initially a thought that set a chain of events that it resulted in the experience. The experience resulted in emotions and certain lessons, which made the ability for A to become a reality. But when we blame other people, we give up our authorship, and then we do not see the brilliance of the fact that we created that. And then what that leads to is we only take a small lesson, such as an example would be, say you had an altercation in the experience with somebody. The lesson, if you're blaming others and you're not taking authorship and you're not seeing your brilliance, you're going to say, avoid such and such a person, or this person is, I don't like them, or whatever that be. But when we realize the brilliance, we take away different lessons. So then continuing on to point number 10 over here, which connects back to point 6, our emotions. What we refer to as emotions, another word that we use is boom moments. Now, boom moments are moments that happen after an experience, or during an experience, you could say. And what boom moments are programs or code running in your subconscious mind. And the thing, continuing on, is many times, as I was saying earlier, we can get stuck in the loop of emotions thinking they're good or bad, and we keep having these boom moments going over and over because we've failed to see the brilliance of the fact that we're creating it. We don't take the lesson, and they just keep repeating because we still want to create thought A originally. So what we need to do is we need to shift and look at emotions. At what they equal is they're just a gauge. Just like the speedometer or gas gauge or some kind of gauge telling you a certain number of pressure, whatever it is. It's not good or bad inherently. It's just showing you where you are. And then, looking back at the premise of success, the basic thing, you have to know where you are in order to get to where you want to be. So when we experience these, emotions, which we call boom moments, we have these boom moments. What they really are is gaugers to show us where we're at. And then what we need to realize is a boom moment, an acronym for boom, is bad, overwhelming, overpowering memory. And that's stored in our subconscious mind. We will refer to it as a program or a line of code. Well, and so if we're in that boom acronym mode, we're going to continue to blame other people, not see our brilliance, and not learn the lessons, and continually repeat that loop. What we need to do is get to the BAM acronym, which is Become Awareness Master. So once we begin to realize these boom moments are simply emotional, they're emotional experiences that are gauging where we currently are in the experience we call life. And once you realize that they're just gauges, you become aware of the fact that your thoughts are initially creating them. It restarts repeating the cycle where you become much more diligent and watchful of your thoughts because you understand that that's where all of your experiences and things happen. So that right here is the 50,000-foot overview of what this whole process is. And does that make sense? Do you have any questions? Want me to clarify anything?
That was good. That was, flowed well.
Sweet.
Flowed well.
And if there was any other thing that I would say to top it off, it's you will forever repeat this emotional boom moment cycles if you continue to blame others and not take authorship for your life. And once you begin to take authorship by realizing these boom moments are gaugers, and those gaugers are giving you information, you are becoming an awareness master, which then sets you on to new experiences because you get the real lesson out of the boom moment, realizing it's just helped you have the necessary experiences so that you can make your original thought a reality. That is the conclusive thing. When you realize you are the author, and all the experiences are doing are basically, they're like basic training, boot camp. They're giving you the necessary hardware, mental and emotional and experiential, in order for A to become a reality. So that right there, my friends, is the whole process. Let's flip around. Boom.
Bam.
So, yeah. I like this. Now that I've ran through it, I think I might be able to... Nah, I think this works actually the best. Because you have
couple of things that I wanted to share with you in the picture that I initially sent you. This was the initial first 4 blocks.
Yep.
So the bottom one doesn't count because it's just an intro. So these top block 1 through 4 are the green section. This is where we want to be. This section right here, I colored it the red section because this is where we don't want to be, or this is where we get stuck. We can use this to our advantage. And the purple section and the purple section is the process itself.
Okay, that makes... Now I know why you color-coded it like that.
Yep. The bottom part, I outlined it in black, so you can just know that it's starting, and the rest is green, red, purple. Just because those are the 3 colors that I had available to me.
Yeah, I figured that was the case. And then...
But green is good, red is like, stop, don't do this. Purple is how do you use the red process to put it into the green zone.
I use totally reverse colors, but that works. I still have it outlined, so then I'll write it in the back.
This is, ladies and gentlemen, the process of growth right here, happening right before your eyes.
Yeah, I did like a cool color coding thing on the back to what the colors meant for my paper, and then I outlined them so now I know for reference.
Yep. Yeah, so yesterday as I was sitting and just looking at the one that I shared with you yesterday, and then I'm like, in the back of my mind, your voice is like, make it simpler, make it simpler. I'm like, this is freaking simple. This is freaking simple. But at the same time, I'm like, Alexa, it could definitely be made a lot better. How? So I went back into my Kaizen mindset and lean thinking. And then I'm like, ooh, this block can go here, 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 here. And I did a bunch of ways in my mind. And all of a sudden I was like, boom, there it is. And then this is what came up.
Yeah, I like this one a lot.
At the end of it, I realized that, I could be color-coded because you want to be stuck in the green, not the red, and the purple is the process.
I just figured out a way you could even cut the paper so it folds up on itself. But the process section, you could cut a slit here and here so that it folds behind this section here, and then have this just fold over on the back and then you would just have to have that bottom row hung a certain way where like you show that first, and then you flip it, it shows the green section, and then you flip the paper, you unflip the red part, so then you see the green and red, and you can explain that you want to stay in the green section, but if you do get stuck in the red section, and then you flip out the purple section, and this is how you get out of there. That's what's up. Yeah, slowly improving. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's a bazillion times better, at least for me, because he created it, so for him it's different experience, obviously. So when he showed it to me yesterday, generally I was just kind of like, I get it, because we've been talking about it, but my mind felt fuzzy. Like, I would not be able to explain it. So then he sent me this version of it last night, and so I looked at it this morning. I'm like, okay, I had work and everything, so I didn't like stare at it. But just from a quick overview, I'm like, okay, I understand. There's that area, there's that section, this section, that section. So just a simple improvement of me saying, make it simpler. He's now improved it, or then now that I can explain it easier, I'm thinking of ways that we can possibly improve it. So it's like, it's a slow process, but it's all you can really do, one little step at a time. And now it's become a lot easier where I feel confident I can go explain this to somebody else. And
It took about only 10 minutes to explain it.
yeah, which is pretty amazing because he took 15 to 20 minutes to initially explain it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 20 minutes. So
Yep.
that's a time cut right there too.
Yeah.
So
if
that's
you're
why
trying
I
to help,
want to improve stuff.
if you're trying to help somebody, and the cool thing is like if you're trying to help somebody, it's best to go super simple in the beginning, and then give them the opportunity to decide if they want to learn or not.
Yeah.
If they want to learn more or not. And that's the whole point of this section is, hey, here's what's coming up. Do you want to learn about it? So yeah, that's the green zone is where you want to be. The red zone is where most of us get stuck. The purple zone is how you take the red and turn it into green.
Yep, and the bottom is just the 50,000-foot overview of the major concepts that we're actually expounding upon, essentially. So one thing I'm thinking that could be, I'm going to write it out 1 second, then I'll flip the camera, or I'll flip the camera and show you guys me writing it out. So I think this first section of the intro, the one word that titles that block should be success, because it's a big... Can you hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay, so the first block is just success, because that's what we're depicting there as a model. And this block over here is creation, we'll call it, because it's showing how a thought plus time becomes reality. So that's how everything is, anything we see in the physical world originated in the mind first. So that process is creation. And the subconscious and conscious mind are the tools. I don't think we should label those because they are, I think it should be an arrow here, basically the mind. There we go, like that. The mind is split up into the physical, the conscious mind and the subconscious. Yeah, there we go. Because that was one part when I was just explaining it in my mind. I was like, what am I explaining here? At least the first one made sense. Basic premise of success, get here to here. But the second one was kind of like, what is this showcasing exactly? And then right now I'm like, oh, it's creation. The basic process.
This is the basic premise of all success. This block is the takeaway for today. That's the major takeaway. Boom. Like that's the one thing you wanna take away is your thoughts over time become reality. That's the takeaway. That's why, and then the whole process.
So it's okay. So I'm gonna rewrite that takeaway.
Yeah. The reason we end up in a pickle is because our thoughts have created our reality.
All right, perfect. There we go. So it's like, to start off, we're going to go with the basic premise. Success is this. You got to know where you are, and you want to know where you want to be. And these lines represent the multiple levels between it. And the takeaway that I want you to take from this whole concept is your thoughts combined with time equals your reality. And your thoughts are generated by your mind, and the mind is, there's two aspects to the mind, the conscious and subconscious. So that is the basic foundation. So now let's go into visualizing and describing the process, and that's when you move into block green.
The basic foundation, you get it? It's on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's that in a nutshell.
Woo!
The coolest thing I'm happy about is I finally got to include the block number 12 where it gives the acronym boom to bam.
Yeah. It is May 4th, right? Yeah, May 4th. May the 4th be with
May the
you.
4th be with you.
I beat you to it.
Yeah, last night I looked at the date. I was like, oh, nice, I didn't miss it. So today at dinner, I'm gonna go downstairs and tell everybody because they've been watching that movie, and I'll be like, May the 4th be with you guys.
Oh, that's super funny.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, check out what I got in the mail today. I've been wanting to support Neon Future, which is a comic made by Steve Aoki and Tom Boulay.
Billieu.
There we go. Dude, this is such a good graphic novel. I started reading it after work, and I did not stop till chapter 5, which is like right about there. So that much. It's that addicting. You're just like whoosh. Highly suggest it.
Nice. Yeah, that was this. I think I'm very thankful to Anthony for coming on these lives. Tomorrow's our final one. It will be a wrap up of all of it, a general wrap up, and we
should do like a walkthrough of what we learned from it. Each of us our takeaway. You as the person teaching, and me, like at least a section of it.
Yeah. So I mean, there's still some hashing out left to do with step 2 and 3. So there's a three pillars of reprogramming, catching your programs, and reprogramming your code. There's three pillars to it. So we just literally hashed out the pillar 1. We started with pillar 3, and then we moved to 2, and now we moved to 1. And over the last 4 days, that got really hashed out. And I love this process. The process of creation, although it's taking time, anything worthwhile takes time to be created and birthed and brought to the world. And yeah, so thank you very much for sticking through, and tomorrow we'll let you know, everyone, what's going to be going on further. But yeah, thank you, Tony. It's been a good run on this.
No problem. I've been learning a lot. It's definitely been pushing me outside my comfort zones, and it's been intense, but well worth it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm surprised how it's just interesting between 2 nights ago when I started off drawing this versus today. You're like, holy moly. Just like when you stick to something, that one thing you're doing, and don't put your focus everywhere, it will converge so much faster. And
yeah, and then it's much easier to work on the next step because you feel excited and refueled from the fact that you got to the core of what you were looking for before. It's off your mind. Next thing.
Yep. So now I'm gonna be doing. I have a little more work on if you want to train somebody how to do this, I am going to be working on that today, and then do the same thing like this for the next 2 steps.
Gotcha.
The next 2 pillars. That's what's left to do. And then the course will be ready, and that's when I'm going to start sharing it with people one-on-one, like literally sit-downs and over. I have a few people already set up. They're like, yeah, we'll definitely sit down with you and listen. Of course, socially distance-wise. keeping social distancing in play. But so that's awesome. I have a few people who are ready to hear. I told them once I got this down, then I'm gonna probably next week. Did you by any chance share it with your girlfriend, see if she's willing to go through it?
No, I haven't. But that's a whole other story.
Okay, well, that brings us to a conclusion for today. And then tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, 4 California, and 7 Eastern time.
Yes, sir. Okay. Episode 12.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, brother. Thanks for having me, and peace.
Peace.